What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with AltCoin Buzz. So today we're going to talk about whales in the market, how to manage expectations, knowing that the whales are out there doing what they do, which is splash, jump, uh, take over, sing. You know how whales are. They're friendly, then they're not. Well, I guess whales in nature, they're always friendly. I don't know of any whale that's really not friendly in nature. Even killer whales are friendly, right? But Bitcoin whales or cryptocurrency whales, depending on how you look at them, can be friendly or not so friendly. But I will say this, learning how to manage riding the tails of the whales can make your approach to the market a little bit more realistic and help you to understand things a little bit better. So in this video, I'm going to go over how I perceive the whales and kind of how I look to utilize the whales and understand the whales to make my investments. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, there is big money that dwarfs all of our money. Okay, we're saying there could be one organization that's bringing in $1 billion that dwarfs all of the money of the entire altcoin army. That's just one person, and that's not a very big whale. Okay, but the majority of this $529 billion market cap is made up of big money, and the rest is just little money. How do I know this? Well, today, for example, I spoke to two new people who just came into cryptocurrency. More and more average Joes and regular people are diving into the market than they ever have really before. Like a lot of the people who've been standing on the sidelines, they were saying, oh, I'm going to wait for the market to pull back again and then I'll jump in. All of those people who are waiting are now jumping into cryptocurrency. But while that's happening, what also is happening is the whales are not letting this thing go. So they've taken money off the table and they pump money in. We've seen this now over a couple times. You'll see this thing go bright green and then it'll go bright red. And then it'll stay bright red for like, I don't know. Lately it's been, we take one step forward, 3 steps back. Previously it was 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But right now they're doing like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And so it's really been, that's why we just keep kind of going lower and lower. Overall for 2018, why do I remain so optimistic, and why did I make my last video talking about for 2018, can we expect a moonshot? 2018, we still have 11 and a half months to go. If you think that we could still be going lower, okay? But for the overall 2018 outlook for myself, I perceive the 2018 year in cryptocurrency to be fairly bright. That's just my outlook. Why? Well, because I've got a bunch of new people coming into the market that are friends and family looking to come into the market, take advantage of these low prices. I got a lot of you guys talking about how you're buying all these things up on sale. Me personally, I'm buying things on sale. I've got some of the biggest names in cryptocurrency talking about buy the dip. And, I just think that when the whales do start injecting money back in there, it's going to pump this thing. But right now, let's be real. The whales who pulled the money out, that money's on the sideline right now, and they're going to probably more than likely come back in. But they do fluctuate the market. And we have to be aware that whales, when they jump, they create a big splash. And that splash will get you wet, whether you want to get wet or not. But it's like the only way to avoid getting wet is to not, sit right next to Shamu's tank. When Shamu splashes, it's going to get you wet. So you just got to be prepared for that and realize that these whales, they move the market up and down really quickly. And if you understand whales' behaviors or the tendency of the whales, then you can take advantage of that. So instead of being so influenced by the splash, now you've all of a sudden empowered yourself to make correct decisions when the whales are splashing and when they're not. For example, what I think is going to happen is all the whales who pulled the money out, they're going to see them. They're waiting for the money to come back in. They might even have it in their own brain that they're so conniving or so slick or so smart or so wise or so creative to understand this, that when the market pulls back, they will be bringing in new money to the market. So you could say keep it artificially low. Now, obviously, we have many factors at play here. We have Korea, we have the Lunar New Year. We have Wall Street's approach to doing things. And so, as some of you have said, it creates the perfect storm for what we've seen. So we have all these different dynamics at play with whales. But I cannot help but assume that there's big money on the sidelines that will be gradually coming back into the market at some point in time. Now, how long it will take for them to come back in is going to depend on when their algorithms and their bots get the signal that now's the time. And all of that is completely out of our control. Even though, like I said, more and more people that I know that I didn't even have to ask them to join or tell them that it was on a dip. They just made their own conscious decision to jump into the market at these prices because they didn't want to buy at all-time highs. Even though some of you might have bought in at all-time highs, a lot of these people now that have invested in the stock market are like, well, they understand the same common understanding. You sell the hype and you buy the panic. So when people are panicking, that's the time to buy. When people are hyped up in a state of euphoria, that's when you sell. So you can take that how you want, but just remember that for next time, like when we were approaching the peak, because we had talked about that many weeks ago, many months ago in previous videos about consolidating at the peak. And I made a video even talking about how it might be a good time for you guys to take money off the table, take all your investment off the table and put it back into, or just play with house money so that you're not exposed like that. Now, I personally, I didn't take money out off the table and put it into fiat. I consolidated it into Bitcoin, but maybe next time I'll consider consolidating it into fiat. You know, taking some money out off the table, taking some profit, and then just playing with house money. That way that I'm prepared, and I'm putting that out there for you guys to hear how I'm going to be next time considering doing this. If we moonshot to $1 trillion, which will more than likely occur, and I'm sitting pretty, I'm probably not going to be as probably not going to hold on as tight to some of the stuff because I've already put my money in there. Now I'm going to be looking to get my initial investment out of there. That way I'm just playing with house money at that time because the way the whales move things, I don't need to be as once it goes to $1 trillion, I'll be up sitting pretty once this market goes up to $1 trillion, if and when it ever does, right? Now, here's the stuff that we know that whales do. And this is big money moving in and out of the market. Look at this. Dump. Pump in, dump. Pump in, dump. Now, the only other thing it could be is, so when this thing goes up, a whale or two whales or three whales or whoever it is, organizations, funds, whatever, they wait for the new money to come in and then they pull it back and they sell off big. Then they let the new money come back in and then they clear the house again. I mean, that could be what they're doing. Or this could be just, I mean, who else could this be that once this thing starts going up, who else could be selling like this? I mean, this is big money. That's a steep drop off right there. Right? That is a steep drop off. I mean, how do we get these kind of drop offs like that? That's big money. That's big money pouring out. Like, look how that's a whale dump right there. 651 to 568. That's because their signals, their algorithm they're looking for resistance. When it breaks resistance, like it broke resistance here, maybe 652 or whatever. Once they saw that it broke resistance and went to 651, their algorithm automatically just triggered to dump. See, it probably was looking for that resistance or any of these resistance points. And once it broke the resistance, it said, okay, we're going lower, so sell. So they consolidate in the USDT. They wait for this thing. So that's how the market kind of fluctuates. They're using algorithms that are programmed to look for these signals, and once those signals execute, then they execute their trades. So if you come on here to our Twitter, I posed a question: how do you manage your expectations with cryptocurrency whales splashing in the market? By smoking a lot of weed, okay? I'm down for 8 Lambos to 3, okay? I always try to hold minimum 2 to 3 months, but most of my investments are for 1 year. Mine and hold. Become one with the whale. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Sold to buy next dip. Buy, buy, buy. Ignore the daily fluctuations and remind myself what I'm in for and what my long haul target based on fundamentals of the company rather than have you seen Bitcoin, we are going to the moon. Okay. Oh, he's asking me if I've seen mint coin. No, I haven't. Always be ready to sell once those whales jump in. If I see one of my coins jump 50+% in a couple hours, finger is on the sell button. That's good advice. He's saying, like, maybe we don't be so greedy and try and get 10 to 15 times gains. Maybe we take 50 times gains or 50% gains. The question really is, are those regular investors whales or something on government level? Is it related to BTC futures, which ends on 18? Finding out who are the whales is the best way to manage expectations. Yes, that's why we're making this video. That is exactly why we're making this video. It's because as a collective, as a community, we come together, we share ideas, and that's why we put out videos like this. Okay? I even asked the same question on Instagram. Let's see what people on Instagram are saying. Still not blinking. Just keep adding bit by bit, hodl, and go with the flow. Chill, holding on, joining them. Hope they keep pulling out so I can buy more cheap and then hodl. Just hodl. I don't mind. You only lose if you panic sell. Other than that, hodl. Oversold bounce is the only way to kill it in a bear trend. Oversold bounces. Hold and try to anticipate. Pull out before they do and don't be greedy. Hold. Can't take a loss if you don't find and sell. So you can see there's a bunch of different comments happening on our social medias about people's approaches to how they cope with these whales when they're at play. But I mean, when you see swings like this, I mean, let's just look at this. Just look at this. You can see this market today's the 17th, right? This market went from as low as $417 billion to $564 billion. That's almost $150 billion swing in less than 8 hours. This market moves like that. We go $150 billion up and down. That means that this thing could, the rug could be pulled out from underneath it when you go to sleep, and you could wake up and this thing's to the moon. Or this thing could be going to the moon and then the rug could be pulled out from underneath it. That's why if you're in it if you take the long-term strategy of like being like, man, I know I'm getting into this market now low, where will this thing be in a year? That's why if you listen to the Ripple CEO or anybody out there in the mainstream media that's bullish on cryptocurrency, they say, look, we're in the early innings of this thing. If you guys know baseball's got 9 innings. They're saying we're in like the first inning of this thing. We're in like the first or second inning here. Okay, so the game, I mean, it's a long haul thing here. So just keep this in mind, and I'm just putting out the video on how to deal with these whales so that you can better prepare yourself mentally, so you're not going to. I'm not going to say that feeling in your gut is going to go away when the market goes deep south, and that state of euphoria when it goes big green is going to not be there. But managing your expectations and balancing it out is kind of what the main objective is here. So we'll see you guys next time. You can subscribe to this channel, or you can click that bell to get notified when videos like this drop, and we'll see you next time.